We'll go ahead and start with Alex Bozich.
Trayce, thank you for the time. Curious, going into this matchup against North Carolina, just what concerned you the most about how they play and the biggest challenges they present maybe for you guys from a defensive standpoint?
I think the biggest challenges that North Carolina imposes is obviously they do a lot with ball screens, and then I think rebounding the ball. We haven't been very good on the glass this year, especially with the games that we played. It's been pretty even, and I know Armando and Pete, and they get on the glass really well, and so we're going to have to keep them off the boards. So battle the glass and limiting them to one shot is probably the biggest thing for us.
Mason Williams.
Hey Trayce, hope you're doing well. Just had a quick question on how you're feeling personally, and then as well the matchup between you and Baycott. What are you looking forward to between you guys tomorrow night?
Yeah, I'm obviously I'm not 100%, but I will be playing tomorrow. Obviously, it's a huge game, so that's out of the door. I'm playing tomorrow, so if you want to get that out there, that I'm playing, and then me versus Armando, it's going to be a big key in the game, but at the same time, it's a lot more than just one matchup on the court. They got a lot of really good players, Caleb Love, RJ Davis. They're taking actually more shots than Mondo, and so we're going to have to hold those guys in check because they get them up.
Brew, and then Wilson Moore.
Trayce, the basketball fan in you, how much are you kind of looking forward to those guard matchups during part of that game, too, with RJ and Caleb going up against your guys? I mean, it's obviously a huge challenge on both ways.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really fun. I think Xavier and Jalen are looking forward to the challenge, starting on those guys, and it's going to be cool to watch them battle. All of them are great players, and so just watching them create and do things on the floor is going to be cool.
Wilson and then Zach.
Trayce, a couple of the earlier games this year, you've had a decent size advantage just in the post. North Carolina has some bigger guys they can throw at you. Just how does that affect what you're able to do offensively?
I think the biggest key for me is kind of similar to the Xavier game. I'm just catching the ball more out towards the mid post and on the wing kind of almost, and just taking them off the dribble I think will be a key because I feel like I'm quicker than them. And then obviously pick and rolls. I think me and X have got our chemistry back. So I think that's going to be big for us too, is screen and roll and getting them in ball screens.
Zach and then Todd.
Trayce, I know you guys don't like to make too much of any one game, but I think there was even some playful social media back and forth between you and Armando before this was announced, like back in the spring when you both knew you were coming back. Just for you as somebody who's talked about these big moments, these big games, IU, UNC, and I guess for this team, just what will tomorrow night mean in terms of maybe the stage you'll be playing on?
It's huge. To be considered one of the best teams, you got to beat the best teams, and they were in the national championship last year. They've dropped 2 games, but at the same time, they're a great team, and I know that they're going to be hungry. They have a game plan for us, and we're going to have to bring it. It's going to be electric here tomorrow, and I really can't wait to see how it's going to be. But it's going to be a primetime matchup. It's at 9 o'clock. It's a primetime game, and they're going to battle, and we're going to have to battle too because they're a really, really good team.
Todd and then Emma.
Trayce, kind of along those same lines, this program has reached a level where, it's a matter of expecting rather than kind of hoping. Have you guys as a team kind of embraced the idea that, you belong in the top 10 and you've earned that right to be in the top 10? How do you guys handle that? And also, where is your level physically right now? Where is your level of discomfort? How is it bothering you the most right now?
For me, and I think my teammates, I can speak for them as well. I think it's when you're the dog at the top of the hill, you got teams coming in and trying to beat you. And obviously with this program, it's already kind of happened that way because it's so historic. And so when you come in to play Indiana, you're getting everyone's best shot, but it's almost different now. And now me and my teammates, I feel like we play with a chip on our shoulder. We confidently know that we're one of the best teams in the country, and we got to play like that or teams are going to bring it to us. And so I think that's the biggest thing for us is we play with a chip on our shoulder now, and that just hasn't happened in the years past. And then with me physically, obviously I don't think I'll be 100% for the game, but I think Timmy G and Dr. Rink have done a really good job, and not as in pain as I won last week, but kind of taking it easy in practice this week. But I think with the adrenaline and how the crowd's going to be, I'll be fine for the game. Obviously, I'll play my hardest. They're going to have to take me out on a stretcher if they're going to have to do that. So I'll be ready to go.
Emma and then Jim.
Hey Trayce, Carolina is as strong as it comes when you're looking at just a starting five, but on your end, you've seen really good minutes out of Malik and Tamar, Geronimo, Trey when he's healthy. So how big of a factor do you think that your bench is going to play in the game tomorrow?
They're going to be a huge factor. They've been a huge factor in every game this year, and I think that's actually big for us because we really have, in my opinion, we have two starting fives. We could really platoon sub kind of like the Kentucky team did, but I think with Carolina playing about 7 to 8 guys, it's going to wear and tear on them because we can throw different bodies at different people, and so I think as the game goes along, that's going to be a huge part of it.
Jim, and then we'll wrap up with Mike Schumann.
Trayce, talking about these big moments, what does it do for your game personally? Do you feel your game elevate? I know you try hard in every game, but what is it about those big games that elevates your own personal game? And then secondly, was dog your word for the press conference?
So the first answer is, yeah, I just believe when the stages are higher, it just makes me want to even shine brighter almost. I live for those moments. I live for big time games. I live for playing in these big time games and these marquee matchups. Just trying to prove that I'm one of the best in the country. And so it's huge for me and it's huge for my teammates. I think they're the same way. And then no, dog was not my word. I didn't have a word today, so I forgot to ask Miller.
Last question, Mike Schumann.
Yeah, Trayce, you talked about the electric environment tomorrow night. You know, with Jalen and Malik specifically, I know they came to IU very prepared with their skill set and physically and all that. But you know, what's your message to them in terms of just not letting the moment be too big tomorrow night?
With them, I kind of said the same thing during the Xavier game. At the beginning of the Xavier game, I just looked at Fino. I said, just play as hard as you can. If you play as hard as you can, I promise you good things are going to happen. I said the same thing to Malik, and so I'm going to say the same thing to him before this game. As long as they play as hard as they can and they're playing their game, I know they're going to be all right. And so they might have a little jitters to start out the game, but they'll get comfortable really quick. They're really good players. So.
All right, Trayce, thank you.
Yep, thank you.